This question asks us to solve a fraction addition problem. 5/6 plus 1/18 equals blank. Now, you may look at this and think, well, 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 plus 18 is 24. So the answer should be 6/24. And that's not true. And usually, we see this sometimes with sixth graders, but usually by sixth grade, people have had a chance to be able to practice with adding fractions for a couple of years. But sometimes it's still something that happens when people look at this problem. And this is wrong and incorrect and not good. And why? What's wrong with this? Well, when we're adding fractions, or subtracting fractions for that matter, we need to make sure that we have the same size denominator. The denominator tells us how big the pieces are in a fraction. So we need to have the same size pieces if we're going to add them together or subtract them. To say 5/6 plus 1/18 is 6/24 is like saying 1 dime plus 1 penny is 2 11-cent pieces. Well, there's no such thing as an 11-cent piece. It just doesn't make any sense. So, this is the wrong way to solve this problem. Let's talk about the right way to solve this problem. Here we have two fractions. We have 5/6 plus 1/18. A useful question can be, can we multiply one of the denominators to give us the other denominator? And here we can. We can take 5/6 and we can multiply it. And again, here we can use the giant 1 as a useful tool. We can multiply it by 3. 3 over 3 is the same thing as 1. And that will give us the denominator of 18. 5 times 3 is 15, and 6 times 3 is 18. Now we have an equivalent fraction for 5/6 that also has the same denominator as the other fractions. So we have 15/18 plus 1/18. And together, that's going to equal 16/18. And that's the answer to this problem, except we can simplify it. We can reduce the number down a little bit. So let's take 16/18. And instead of multiplying with a giant 1, let's divide with a giant 1. And here we can think about our rules of divisibility. Both 16 and 18 are even numbers. They end in either 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And therefore, we can divide them by 2. So let's put 2 inside of our giant 1, 2 halves, which is the same thing as 1. And we can say 16 divided by 2 is 8. And 18 divided by 2 is 9. So the answer to this problem, 5/6 plus 1/18, is 8/9. We found the common denominator by taking and multiplying one side, one fraction's denominator and numerator, in order to give us the same denominator as the other fraction. You can't always do that, but when you can, it's nice and easy, and it's a good strategy to use. And then we found an answer, and we saw that we could reduce that down, simplify it, by dividing by the giant 1, and that's what we did, and our answer is 8/9. When you feel comfortable with this question, go ahead and try the practice problem that's been grouped with this question on the homework quiz for this week.